I love this fan art so much, but this is just gonna be weird if we have her staring the entire video. So I'll put you back after this. Today's video is going to be a TBR, which I don't really do anymore, but it is for a readathon that's occurring, and so I figured before I begin that, and there's some vlog footage floating around for it, I just give you a little inside scoop on what this readathon is, what I'm planning to read for it, and maybe give it a boost if you're interested in checking out the readathon for yourself. So I was scrolling Goodreads one day and saw that one of my friends had signed up for the group called Prideathon, and I went and clicked on it. Didn't really know when it was occurring or who it was run by, but I just kept researching it and then realized this readathon was occurring in April and in less than a week. So clearly from the title you can gather this is a pride themed readathon, so it's all about these LGBT books that you have on your TBR. There's different challenges that go along with reading those. It takes place from April 14th to the 20th, which is about a week of reading, and there are 7 challenges. I know that June is Pride Month and I was really planning on devoting a lot of time then to reading some of these books, but I feel like I've been putting some of these off unintentionally. I think this readathon would be the perfect kickstart into actually picking these up. So I have a stack of books that I want to talk about as far as a TBR situation. So side note, usually for readathons I'll do more books on my TBR than I'll probably actually finish, but I like having that wiggle room just in case I DNF one or one is really slow. I just have room to swap one out. So I have a stack of books today. I'm also going to go through these 7 challenges and see what fulfills what. So the first challenge I already know I will not be completing, and because it's read the group book. The group book is The Fever King by Victoria Lee, and I have actually heard a lot of great things about this book, but I'm really focusing right now on reducing my TBR, and I do not own that book. So I'm gonna pass, but I will definitely be keeping an eye on people's reviews of this. So I don't think I'm gonna read the group book unless I like randomly pick it up from the library, but I know it sounds super good. It has a bisexual main character, and there's just a ton of diversity packed into it, and I think it's like an urban fantasy type situation. But the second challenge is reread an LGBT book. Again, I'm trying to reduce my TBR, and like it hurts me. This is like a separate video, but it hurts me to reread stuff because I'm just like, I could be reading something new right now. I haven't reread I'll Give You the Sun since like 2014, but like, do I need to read it? I'll have that one in the back of my mind. I'm not leaning toward doing that one. Like obviously I'm not, since I'm not reading the group book, I really don't have to do any of these challenges, but I'd like to see what I can check off, and I think rereading for me is not in the cards. But the third challenge is read an LGBT book that you did not buy. So it was either from the library, you won it from someone sent it to you, etc. Some of the books that I could do are Tipping the Velvet by Sarah Waters, which is a female-female historical fiction book, or I could do Autobiography by Christina Lauren, which is male-male romance with a bisexual protagonist. I also received Girls of Paper and Fire as a gift, I think. Yeah, I keep the notes in there so I remember who got it for me. Girls of Paper and Fire is another female-female romance, but this one is a fantasy about these girls who are kept by this king in sort of a harem situation, and 2 of the girls who are used as these slaves sort of band together to survive that, and they end up falling in love. So, female-female fantasy book. Really eager to read this one. One of these 3 books will fulfill it. Okay, so the fourth challenge is read an LGBT book that represents your identity in some way. I do not have a book that has either fat rep or anxiety rep that I know of. If any of these end up having that, then I will update and be like, yeah, I did another challenge. But once again, these challenges I'm flopping miserably at. But then number 5 is read an LGBT book that's been on your TBR for a long time. And I already know for a fact that would be Ash by Melinda Lowe. I have had this on my TBR since like 2015 or 16. It's been absurd. But this is a female-female Cinderella retelling. The 6th challenge is to read an LGBT book with a protagonist that's different from you, either with their culture, gender, sexual, or romantic identity, etc. For that challenge, I think this book would work perfectly. This is Marriage of a Thousand Lies by S.J. Sindhu. This book is about a woman who is gay, but she is married to a man who's also gay. Basically, they're both Sri Lankan, and so their family judges them for their sexuality, and so they put on like this fake marriage in order to appease their families, but they're both gay, so it's kind of just like this convenient marriage that they can then like both have the freedom to pursue other relationships without their family finding out. So because these characters are Sri Lankan, this definitely satisfies reading a book from a perspective that isn't my own. And then the 7th challenge is just read an LGBT book, so that would satisfy any of the rest of mine. So besides the ones I've mentioned, I have 4 other LGBT books. This first one I think I want to get to sooner rather than later because I have a lot of books that are like female-female or male-male romance, but I don't have any that are about trans people. people. So this is actually a nonfiction book that is about 20 myths and misconceptions about transgender and gender non-conforming people. So this is just a collection of essays that talks about different issues that people with these identities face. It's super short and I'm just reading it sort of to inform myself and to be more well-versed in like ways that I can be a better advocate and sympathize with sort of the way that society has failed these people. So this is definitely something that I'm interested in reading just as like an educational resource. I also have this book called Unicorn Tracks by Julia Ember, which is a female-female relationship set in sub-Saharan Africa about these two girls who live in this sort of mythical land where unicorns exist, and there's poachers trying to kill these unicorns and they are their protectors. So since this takes place in Africa, I assume that most of this cast of characters are African. Not sure what to expect. I feel like I might have gotten that synopsis wrong because I don't know that much about it, but unicorns, like, come on. And also this book's only like 150 pages, so if anything, this is gonna be quick. And then lastly, I have two YA female-female romance books. This first one is The Abyss Surrounds Us by Emily Gritsky. This is a sci-fi book about enemies to lovers. That's all I know. It's like this pirate book where there's like genetically engineered sea monsters, yada yada yada, pirates, gay women. I'm here for it. And then finally, I just bought this book yesterday, so it'd be awesome if I could read it this close to having bought it. I got Everything Leads to You by Nina LaCour, which is a YA contemporary about this girl who goes to Hollywood as a graduation gift and then ends up meeting another gal. Okay, it says they find a mysterious letter at an estate sale in a Hollywood actor's home, and so they're like chasing down the details of this person's life and uncovering secrets, and along the way there's like this little side romance that develops between them. I love Nina LaCour's other female-female romances, so. And I just showed off 9 books and I'm 100% sure I'm not going to read 9 books in 7 days. I will definitely have a vlog up to show what books I'm reading, and I really just want to get into a grind of doing more readathons because I feel like I just sit at home all day on my computer when I could be using that time to get some reading done. So that's what we're gonna work on. I would love to hear if you have participated in the prideathon before or if you plan on doing this round of it. I know that there's probably gonna be another readathon in June somewhere for LGBT books in Pride Month. So if I don't finish any of these, I can just save them for June and read them then, or read them whenever I feel like it. So thank everyone for watching. I will see you during my reading vlog during the prideathon. Bye!